Unchanged in thousands of years, the stunning Tasman Island off the southeastern corner of Tasmania is true Tasmanian wilderness country. The island is a mecca for holidaymakers and fishermen alike, but nestled amongst this tranquil and beautiful part of the world lies an equally beautiful but infamous port, Port Arthur. Port Arthur Penal settlement began its life as a small timber station in 1830. Originally designed as a replacement for the recently closed timber camp at Birches Bay, Port Arthur quickly grew in importance within the penal system of the colonies. The initial decade of settlement saw a penal station hacked from the bush, and the first manufactories, such as shipbuilding, shoemaking, smithing, timber and brickmaking were established. The 1840s witnessed a consolidation of the industrial and penal nature of the settlement as the convict population reached over 1100. In 1842, a huge flour mill and granary, later the penitentiary, was begun, as well as the construction of a hospital. 1848 saw the first stone laid for the separate prison, the completion of which brought about a shift in punishment philosophy from physical to mental subjection. Port Arthur also expanded geographically as the convicts pushed further into the encircling hills to extract the valuable timber. For the complete history on Port Arthur, why don't you Google their site at www.portarthur.org.au.
We're starting to fly.
G'day and welcome to today's episode of GTA, Port Arthur. After a day's delay due to me being in hospital with kidney problems, we're finally down here on the Tasman Island to explore what is undoubtedly the most beautiful haunted site I've ever seen.
Lives and stuff.
Alright, Isabella's now going to give us a recap of where we're going and what we're doing. What are we doing, Isabella?
We are going to go to one of the most haunted places in the world.
And what's that place called?
Well, the place that we're going to be in is called
Port Arthur! Yeah! Bring it on. And here's Tanya. She's all real, not even know. We're not real happy. But we're never happy. There's something a bit different this episode. Let's just sit back and take in the beautiful sight that is Port Arthur before we make our way to the ghost tour.
can take it out if you think that would look better, Mummy. Yeah. Thank you.
Please note, filming on these ghost tours is strictly prohibited. However, Mead, our tour guide, gave me permission to film from the midway point of this tour and only certain select parts.
Oh no, Mum's got the light, you know, he's got the video camera now. Oh, yeah, he asked about it.
But before we continue, here are the photos that we took for the first half of the tour. I took this photo of the window just as Tanya was saying that she heard footsteps on the veranda outside. Bear in mind, while we were there was no veranda because that was being ripped up for conservation work, and Tanya's hearing footsteps on a balcony that is no longer there. Unfortunately, the photo showed nothing. However, as you'll see in later episodes, there is a ghost outside of these windows. While we were in the room under the surgeon's house, Tanya suddenly felt as though someone was pinching her on their left arm. I stepped back and saw that there was no one there and quickly took this photo, but again, there was nothing in it. And here in this photo you can just make out the red mark, which is exactly where Tanya said she was pinched. I don't want to know what this guy was doing.
We're now standing out the front of a building that has the most disturbed history on site.
Good.
As I said at the start, Port Arthur was intended as a place of reform, a way to turn the criminals into good, honest men.
One good thing about the ghost tours is the ghost stories that they tell. Here's one that Mead told us here in the separate prison.
There are many other characters that wander around the halls. The one that comes to mind for me is John Ford, a rather leery character who loves the ladies, so you're alright, gents. And he's behind what I think is the most scariest report we have on site, with two young women standing in that corridor where they reported something trying to grab them and drag them back up the hallway. which is why I stand here. They also like to give us as guides a bit of a scare. We have to come around here on our own. It used to be lock-up procedure that we would come around once all tours had finished for the night and lock up by ourselves. You would come in through the door, down to the end and shut the gate, back up and exit out that door there, which has changed since the renovations. But this guide began as she was meant to, walking into the centre of the room and saying those famous last words. "Is there anybody there?" Satisfied with no reply, off she went. When halfway down the corridor, thinking someone was intentionally trying to stay in for the night, without stopping she simply said, "I'm locking up now and I don't care if I lock you in." She got to the end, shut the gate, and momentarily forgot she'd just locked herself in. As she was coming back up the corridor, this time they were right next to her. She turned to look, nobody there. That was enough for her, she started to run. She got to the top of the stairs when she remembered she had to unlock that door, but fear made her hands clumsy and clammy and she struggled to find the right key. As she was trying to slip and turn that key in the lock, the footsteps started to hurry as well. They got to the top of the stairs, jumped and made a rush for the door, where she slammed it into whatever it was that was following her. She vowed to never do lock up again. We'll be moving along to our last stop for the night and we're going across in front of the old asylum. It is now a museum and cafe, so unfortunately that is not the ghost you see, that is the light of the Coke machine as they go past.
Daddy, something caught me in there.
Did you?
Yeah. I'll tell you what.
What?
Someone just making me feel sick.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was fine. And then when I walked into the middle,
Yeah.
I started picking footsteps. I heard something, like whistling. And then I just got sick when the whistling stopped.
Did you?
Maybe there was, maybe no one else heard it, but maybe...
So, congratulations everybody, you've survived the ghost. As we go back, now, if you walk here from Port Arthur, something huge
happened.
Yeah.
And Daddy, every time we're just in front of the church or near the church, something's grabbing my arm.
Really?
Yep.
Well, we've got to walk past there to go back to the hotel, so...
I know.
Got to catch up.
Something grabbing my arm.
Got to catch up.
And yay, they got to cheer for me and she said my name.
Yeah. With the ghost tour finished, Tanya, Isabella and I made our way back to the motel, travelling through the church as we went. Tanya was outside taking these photos that you can see now. I was inside videoing. Well, I thought I was. What I didn't know is that I think somebody was in there with me who didn't want to be captured. As I pan around and film inside the church, the camera goes dead. Everything I had recorded from the time I walked in was gone, and I was running out with something behind me pushing me in the back. Coincidentally, my camera shut down just as I panned to this exact location, which is the location that a convict was murdered during the church's construction. Now joined by two other guys who were on the ghost tour, I restarted the camera and started to film as I walked back into the church. Retracing my footsteps, I turned and again panned to that exact corner I just showed you, and once again the camera died, completely shut itself off. This is what happened after it finally restarted and stayed on. That just shut down. Alright, so whoever's here playing, come on. We see someone here, come on. So same thing didn't happen down, no? See some building that lost there. Check out the stones and concrete under the window here. Do you think it looks like a face? He did it again. He did it again. Not in the same spot, but I've gone in. The guys were standing there watching, and the camera just stopped. In the house. What is this reflection? While you can't see it in these photos, Tanya and Isabella, whilst they were looking at the parsonage, could see someone waving at them from inside the building. The shadowy figure had its arm moving up and down and side to side. There is a light in that window. Yeah, it's gone now. Yep.
And it changes, completely changes. Watch.
To the left.
See? See the
You're
figure?
talking about the orange light or the...
Yes. See the figure?
With the evening getting late and nothing really showing up in the window anymore, we decide to take one quick photo of the church and head back to our motel. Have a look at this photo zoomed in. Does that look like a ghost to you? Well, it's not. It's the light reflecting off the back window in the top of the steeple. Oh, something touched me on the head. Something touched me on the head.
Something touched on the head?
Yeah.
Yeah, raindrops.
Oh, raindrops. That's boring. Oh, no, here we go. Okay. Pinch marks. You can see them. Just there.
It's like, oh, it's there, it's her.
I can see them, Daddy.
That's cool.